Om Namah Shivaya. You are all well aware of Ranveer Alavadia. He was quite a famous podcaster and we all enjoyed his shows and we learned a lot of things from his shows. But suddenly, after a very crass comment by him in a show, his career has gone downhill. Now, why is this happening in the present day world? Because in our society, there is a lot of hypocrisy among the people. People have one face for the world and another face privately. This hypocrisy, this kind of, deceive the public will not work for very long because public ultimately realizes the truth and also realizes how you have taken them for a ride for so long. So, hypocrisy is not a good policy to follow. However, the fact remains that in our society, there are a lot of hypocrites who continue to behave like this. So, first thing is be authentic in your life. Try to be what you are and what you actually want to be. Because having two-faced personality does not kind of favor you in the long run. And sometime or the other, people realize that you are not what you appear to be. So basically, it is very important to be authentic in life, to show the same face to the public as you are within yourself. Otherwise, you may have to pay a heavy price for it later on. Besides, be rooted to our Indian culture. Our Indian culture is extremely ancient and we don't know how many thousands of years old it is actually. So, be rooted in our Indian culture and traditions because these have stood the test of time and people have full faith in them. The Indian tradition and culture has always been very highly advanced, scientific, and also been able to give us very scientific facts and theories. In fact, our Shastras are not only the embodiment of Vedic knowledge, but also they are based on science, as the scientists are now discovering recently. Besides being rooted in our own Indian culture and tradition, it is also important to improve our education system. Our education system is still largely based on what the Britishers had left us. The Britishers had basically written our history, or even after independence, our history was written by leftist writers which did not do any justice to our ancient Indian history. In fact, many of our brave kings were overlooked by our history. So, our history also needs to be rewritten in an objective manner so that we as Indians actually know our history, how glorious and how extremely scientifically advanced it was. Recently, the discoveries in Sinoli have also proved that Mahabharata had actually existed. A chariot was discovered, swords were discovered, and skulls and other body remains of men and women warriors were also recovered. This has thrown a new light on our entire history. So, apart from the great Indus Valley civilization, we have the discoveries at Senoli which prove that Mahabharata actually happened. Similarly, in Dwarka under the sea, the palace of Lord Krishna ruins were discovered. So, what our ancient history has been is still not disclosed to us. I have made a video on Ramayana saying that it was our ancient Indian history. If you are interested, you can see it. Similarly, I also believe that Mahabharata actually happened and it's a part of our ancient Indian history and culture. So, not only our educational system has to improve, but also our history needs to be rewritten by historians who are objective and neutral. So, this educational system, if it is based on our Indian history and culture, and it is also likely to improve the values of the present day youth. The youth have been largely misguided by the old educational system based largely on the principles of Macaulay and others. The Mughals were shown to be the great in our ancient history, which they were actually not so great. I have made a video on the Mughals, you may like to see. The Britishers came to India and our history books taught us that the British did a favor to us by coming to India. They gave us the railway system, they gave us so many other infrastructure, etc., etc. But they conveniently forgot to say that the Britishers looted more than $35 trillion from India. Both the Mughals and the Britishers, during the period they occupied India, they totally subverted our ancient gurukul system, in which, according to most of the ancient learnings, not only Vedas but also science was taught. So, our rishis were ancient and very knowledgeable, who were scientifically very advanced, and they gave us this gurukul system in which the student had to learn not only the Vedic Shastras but also our ancient history, culture, and traditions. This we have lost over time since the time of the Mughal period, when they systematically destroyed the gurukuls. So, entire education system and our entire history needs to be revamped totally. The product of this kind of education system is the present generation and some ancient other generations as well, but insignificantly the present generation, which is sometimes losing the values and the traditions which were held dear by us. Ranveer Alavadia also, who is a product of the modern generation, shamelessly and crassly commented on some issues. And these kind of shows are becoming popular because they think that it can give them more kind of viewers. But this does not happen in the long run. It is not a good policy in the long run, because if somebody wants to continue in this social media, then one has to be authentic and not become a hypocritical kind of a person. Now, what Ranveer Alavadia can do is to basically seek forgiveness from the deities whom he claims to have worshipped during his various shows. The deities will forgive him, only then he can recover his lost prestige and success. Not only this, karma comes back according to Hindus. So, when karma strikes back, it takes back your basically whatever your bad deeds have been, it pays you with interest. So, Hindus believe that karma returns and a heavy price is extracted from the individual if any bad deeds have been done by him. We firmly believe in the theory of karma, and not only we in India, but even many other countries now believe who have adopted the word karma into the English language. So, one has to pay for the crimes he has committed, for the karma he has made, and karma basically means what goes around will come around. And this way, when Ranveer Alavadia fully atones for his kind of deeds, his words, then he can perhaps make a comeback, because in Hinduism we have a policy of forgiveness by the deities. In case a person truly seeks forgiveness and tries to reform himself and change himself to accept the truth. So, there is a possibility of forgiveness in our religion, and definitely if somebody atones very sincerely for his deeds, for his actions, for his words, then perhaps he can come back to the basically glory which he has lost. Thank you for watching this video.